Hey there, Leroy.
Hey, how are you?
Um, just fine. And yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Anything new?
Well, I got a couple of questions tonight, but I think I'll wait till the crew gathers. Basically, questions about the ESP8266.
Okay. Um, I'm sure somebody will know an answer. But correct answers will cost you, right?
Yeah, right.
Uh, we're
Well,
we're
you've used them quite a bit, haven't you?
yeah. Yeah.
At least indirectly. There's a lot of equipment out there that has them in it.
Yeah. I have I've actually moved more to the ESP32 away from the 8266s, but I've used them, so
What is the fundamental difference between 8266 and the 32?
uh well, there's a lot. The uh the 32 the 32 is a dual core. It has more RAM. It has Bluetooth. Um, has more GPIO.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought that the 8086 had like 16 something, or 8266 had like 16 GPIO.
Um,
But I think they dual use some pins, don't they?
yeah, and not all of the ESP32 boards break out all the GPIO.
Okay.
Um,
So the chip has the GPIO, but the board it's mounted on and
well,
power
that's
supply and all that
yeah,
stuff.
that's true for the 8266 too. That some of the boards just don't break out all the GPIO. Uh,
Well, I'll go ahead and ask my question then. The description I've been studying this up over the last couple of days, and the description I read for the 8266 is that it supports um, B, G, and N Wi-Fi.
mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. It supports uh, B, G, and N, but I thought N included both the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz.
Um, both uh, chips, both the 8266 and the 32, support BGNN, but they support the 2.4 gigahertz, not the 5.
So okay.
They're only 2.4 gigahertz chips.
So is there an equivalent that supports the 5?
Um, there is. Let me think. I don't know the number off the top of my head. Um, it's a relatively new chip, but it has both the 2.4 and the 5. And as far as I know, so far nobody's gotten the 5 gigahertz to actually work.
Okay. Well, so that's one of those vaporware features, so to speak.
The specs for the chip say that it's there, but that's about as far as it's gotten, I think.
Okay.
Who makes that thing? Um, I've got a board with it in it, and it. I'll think about it. I know I'll know I'll remember. But there's one that I know of that has both. Um,
But you've never used one that has both, though.
well, I've actually got I've got one of the boards that uh, supports it, but like I said, as far as I know, nobody's gotten it to work yet. So
Okay.
um, let me let me think. You know how sometimes thinking hurts.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
just
there's
got to think
Jim.
about that.
There's Jim.
It's a little bit low today, running low.
Oh,
They're shooting you from the bottom rather than the top, huh?
They keep shooting at me. I don't know.
I hear somebody sending code in the background. Is that just my imagination?
I hear the cops in the background,
oh,
a scanner or something.
it's because I
Oh,
forgot to turn the scanner off.
Oh,
okay.
I
He
can't.
wants
I
he
can't
wants
hear.
the
I can't hear it because I've got I've got
earphones.
the headphones on. Uh,
He wants to make sure that he's got a head start if they show up at his door.
yeah.
it's Butler County Fire and EMS. Every now and then you'll hear police calls on it, but
Now, Butler County includes what? How far south and how far north?
Hamilton.
Hamilton's on the south.
Yeah, Hamilton South. Um, Middletown. Let's see,
It doesn't go as
Westchester.
far. It doesn't go as far north as Dayton, does it?
No, no. Westchester. That's south.
Westchester's Hamilton, though, isn't it?
Parts of it. Parts of
Oh,
it are in Butler County, and parts of it are in Hamilton County.
I didn't realize that
Westchester's huge. Yeah.
city limits would cross county lines.
Yep. Middletown. Part of Middletown's in Warren County, so just a small part.
That's east, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This map really doesn't show the county lines very well.
So Hamilton goes north of the 275 loop. The 275 loop around Cincinnati. But Butler doesn't come south of the 275 loop anyplace, does it?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, that gives me a general idea.
Mason. Is Mason in? Is Mason in Butler County or is it in Warren County?
It's Warren County.
Is it Warren County?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hamilton's about as far south as the county goes, and Middletown's about as far north. I think.
And it goes over to Oxford.
Goes over to Oxford.
So it goes pretty close to the Indiana line then.
Mm-hmm. We're right on the well, Oxford's right on the on the line.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was in undergraduate at Ohio State, I had some friends who were at Miami University over in Oxford.
You've got a little bit past Monroe is probably the eastern border, and then the southern border is Hamilton. Oxford area is the western border, and Middletown's probably the northern border.
Okay. Thank you.
Somewhere in that. But see, you got me sidetracked. Now I've forgotten what I was looking for.
I think you were looking
ESP stuff.
You were looking for something equivalent to the 8266 or the 32 that had the 5 gig Wi-Fi.
Yeah. You got me sidetracked on something easy.
But now the 32 does include Bluetooth, right?
The 32 has Bluetooth, yeah.
Have you ever used that? Is that reasonably reliable?
I have used it. I personally do not like Bluetooth, period. No matter what it's actually for. I've used it just because, a few things, but I don't like it. So I try to avoid using it.
A lot of times, if you want to connect to your cell phone, you have to use Bluetooth.
Yes, and I just don't like Bluetooth. I just don't like it.
Okay.
Well,
I read someplace or another that I think it was on the 32, that you either went with Wi-Fi or you went with Bluetooth because they use the same circuitry somehow or another.
They use the same core, I think, but I'm pretty sure I've had both of them working at the same time.
Okay.
But that's why the ESP32S2 that got rid of one of the cores and one of the and Bluetooth. That's why I was so excited. One reason why I was so excited about it, because I don't really need that extra core or the Bluetooth.
Now that thing's actually a microcontroller. It's not a CPU, right?
Right.
You don't load any kind of an operating system into it or anything like that.
You don't load. Well, it can run like free real-time OS, which lets it multitask.
Yeah.
But I guess that's debatable whether or not that's an actual OS.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Well, my rule of thumb is that if it doesn't require an OS, it's a microcontroller. If it requires an OS, it's a CPU. But I'm not sure that that's a formal definition. That's just my rule of thumb.
that's always the definition I've went with. And I guess what would be debatable is whether or not something called free real-time OS is actually an OS.
So free RTOS. Okay.
Free RTOS, yeah. It's built into the core. Like if you install the Arduino core. It's
Yeah.
just built into that core, so you can just start using it. It
Interesting.
helps do some multitasking. It helps switching back and forth between the cores. But like I said, it's debatable whether or not that's actually a OS.
Oh, there's Ken.
Yes, and there's Ken.
And there's Ken.
But he's got his video shut off. Oh,
Thing.
oh, and there's
Mike.
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 Hola.
So Ken, are you incognito today?
Yes, I am.
Or are you are you sitting there in your skivvies?
I thought about it, but I said, no, we better not do that.
Okay.
Okay, what do we got here? Start video. Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Ah.
we're viewing Kenny's screen.
Yeah,
What
Oh,
the
is that
heck?
what, is that what we're doing?
I have a little bit more story to my light story. So
Oh, really?
I went upstairs and I got the LED lights that are in the bathroom that were set at 2700, and I put them in the kitchen island. Too bright, way too bright again. So then I found some old light bulbs hanging around the house. I put them in, looking good.
By old light bulbs, you mean like Edison lights, incandescent kind of things, or what?
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Really?
yeah. So, but see, the kitchen lights point down, okay? So they're
Uh-huh.
pointing on the island, okay? I wonder, I can rotate the light fixtures and have the lights point to the ceiling, but I don't know. I don't think that's too well, because in the kitchen, I got them pointing down on the kitchen table. In the dining room, I got them pointing them up. So it can go either way.
Uh-huh.
So, but it is not as bright. It's not in your face.
It's
So
some
I can,
50-watt equivalents.
so I don't know there's 60 watts, but I don't know what the deal is as far as the
What
luminance is.
color? Yeah, so 2700 should be okay with the color, from what Art was
Yeah.
saying. The
Yeah.
but you reduce your wattage.
Ooh, these are hot too.
Lumens, or 40 watt or 20 watts or whatever it takes to get the light down. Get your lumens down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're going to grab an incandescent bulb, you better have a pair of thermal gloves on.
They're hot.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the efficiency of or inefficiency of the incandescent bulb. That's,
but when I took the LEDs out, okay, they've been on for about an hour. They were warm too. Yes, they were.
yeah,
Not
but
hot, but they were warm.
they're generally not going to burn you. Incandescent bulb will definitely burn you.
Yeah, well, but the LEDs were not cool. They were pretty warm. But we managed to get them out and put these in. So
Are they in kind of an enclosed area so that they collect the heat?
yeah, they have a ring around them, a glass ring. Okay, so they're holding the heat. Yeah, they're holding the heat.
Okay.
I would think they'd be tempered so they wouldn't have a problem with too much heat. But they came from China, so who knows? So
Well, is there anything that doesn't come from China these days?
yeah, that's true too. But yeah, But yeah, and the difference between this light fixture and the one in the dining room is the socket. When you're screwing in the bulb, the quality of the socket, the higher quality, the bulb screws in, threads in nicer. It's not as coarse, whereas the one in the dining room is really coarse. You can't take a full swing at it. You just got to nib it, and when you're finally there, you're there. Here, you can take a full swing at it, and the coarseness in the light socket is not there, whereas this one's really nice. Two different manufacturers. So, lesson learned: you pay a little better price for a better socket, basically.
Interesting.
I had another weird experience happen to me. I was sitting at the kitchen table and the computer came on, and next thing I know, I'm getting Microsoft Windows 10 upgrade. It took about 2 hours for it to get through, and I didn't think nothing of it. So the next day I went about my business and said, okay, no problem. And then I tried to open up a file, a Word file, and it's Microsoft Works, and it was corrupt. I don't know what happened, but it's corrupt. It won't open up. Then the following day, I'm over at Panera's, having coffee with Jim, and I try to get the laptop, and it's got like a little keypad on the computer there, laptop, and I can't get the keypad cursor to work.
Touchpad.
And I said, what's this all about? So I took it home and I started messing with it and found out that when I boot up the computer, okay, a little disclaimer comes across on the right-hand side that says that your keypad has been disconnected. Touchpad. So the touchpad doesn't work. So then I did a little bit more investigating, and they said that with Microsoft 10, okay, the touchpad, they don't want you to operate because of security problems. So somebody can get a hold of your keystroke through your touchpad.
Really?
I said, well, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Your email. I got some corrections. And I have more questions.
That is interesting.
So this.
What are you trying to show us on the screen there, Kenny?
That goes on the screen, Kenny.
I know. I'm not sure.
There for the first couple hours, but
There we go.
I got rid
Oh
of it.
yeah, much better.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
meeting tonight. Hi.
Hi.
Nobody cares about seeing me.
Oh,
True.
I already saw you.
this needs to come back here. This is a header.
Yeah, well,
So
And you're saying here, all items, including anything that's sold from the
I'm
website.
going to mute Ray. I have an answer for you, Art.
Okay.
This is, let's share the screen here. This is made by Seed. Obviously, it's a YO terminal, and it has the Atmel SAM D51 core, but it also has a Realtek RTL 8720 Bluetooth and 2.5 gigahertz board. So it's
So it's
Kinda-
got both in it.
yeah, it's kind of got two two different deals. This is probably the most polished product so far that's using this RTL 8720. It's got the screen and a whole bunch of stuff, extra stuff, but they also, this RTL, make this thing that looks like a node MCU board or something like that. And that's the chip right there. So it looks like, it's a replacement for something. And that board looks like it probably was based off of like the Node MCU board. But it's got your Bluetooth 5 and somewhere down in here 2.4 and 5 gigahertz AB, GNN.
Okay.
Um,
And they do that with two separate chips then.
well, this is the chip that actually does the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very similar to like an ESP chip. I don't really see. I was looking to see how many pins they break out, but it's got GPIO on it and other.
Uh-huh.
As far as I know, though, nobody has made a core yet. To install into the Arduino IDE or anything.
Uh-huh.
And this YO terminal, it's relatively new, maybe less than a year out. And
What's the scale
I own one of these things, and it was just a pain to use. It was painful to use it. So I don't know if I could, recommend it until everything gets polished and fixed and whatever.
Okay.
But that's really the only that RTL 8720 is really the only board that I know of that does dual band.
But the 8266 and the 32 do not. So
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's coming. I think probably Espressive will eventually do that because I mean you've got to. It's 5 gigahertz is out there in the world. I mean, and when another company can do it, I don't know why a company like Expressive can't or won't. So, Expressive stuff has been fairly polished since the early days. I mean, the early days, some of their stuff didn't work quite right, but they got it. They figured it out. So.
Well, usually it comes down to economics and marketing. Is there a market available or isn't there?
Oh. They I'd like to start using 5 gigahertz more, especially on microcontrollers, but we'll see.
Well, one of the reasons I'm thinking about it is that I've got an awful lot of nodes on my wireless network these days, and they're not high bandwidth at all, but there's just a bunch of them. And basically, I got a router sitting there only 50% utilized. So,
Well, that's one of the reasons I want to get some of my projects off of 2.4 gigahertz because there's just a lot of stuff on 2.4 gigahertz.
Well, up until now, most of the IoT stuff has been sitting on 2.4 gigahertz. So you've got cameras on 2.4, you've got motion detectors, you've got
A lot of stuff.
little switches on the windows and doors and so forth and so on. All the security stuff is on 2.4. And so, you got a lot of stuff stumbling over itself.
Some of the Reolink cheapo cameras, I notice now, I've got a few that include 5 for 40 bucks, 30, 40 bucks. So they're getting there.
I put a link to those two in the chat, but they're really the Seed Studio one and the one from AliExpress are really using the same Reolink board to do it. So
Well, they certainly got the prices of them down a ways.
yeah.
You got to wonder how they make any money.
Because it's coming from China. I don't know. I bought that YO terminal from DigiKey. Think I ended up paying about 40 bucks for it all total, shipping and tax and tariff and everything. So could get it a little cheaper from China, but it probably wasn't worth it because of the shipping and involved and whatever.
And by the time you get it, you've forgotten why you ordered it.
Yeah, well, that's actually kind of how I feel about that board anyway. I kind of wish I had forgotten that I had ordered it, because it definitely was not, when I got it, it definitely was not ready for prime time, and it had been out for about a year. So I don't know if it's just, everybody's using ESP32s, so they're overlooking some of this other stuff, or is it's just, whatever, Or if
Well,
it's,
it doesn't pay to be in the hardware business or component business, that's for sure. I mean, you got to ship a lot of them in order to make any money at all. The margins are really, really skinny.
and then, when you open source some of this stuff, you're waiting for people to make cores for you and whatever, instead of making them yourself. So, there's a lot of that going on too. All right. Jim is putting a bunch of stuff in the chat room.
Yep.
Yeah, you better watch out. They're going to start putting data caps on. Let me show you the screen. I can find it. There we go. The good news, here's the bad news. And we have some mixed news after this. These are the plans, or these are what's going on. Spectrum had an agreement with the government not to put caps on when they bought out Time Warner.
Yeah.
The agreement ends in 2023, however. They tried to get out of it, but it looks like Biden is not positive to let them do it. So we'll see. So there's a link to it in the news. You can go look at the news link, and it has all the gory details.
I find it kind of strange that they're limiting putting data limits on when they've got so much dark capacity around. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I read somewhere, I don't know where, but it was all the streaming that has been happening, all the streaming video services and whatever
yeah.
that are eating into cable company profits. So they're going to data cap you so that if you want to watch something, you're back to buying cable from them.
Yeah, the big
Interesting.
suppliers now are getting competition from streamers, so.
Yeah. So since most of, well, not all of them, but since most of the internet providers also have some kind of cable TV or TV service, none of them like the streamers anymore. So
It looks like AT&T is selling their satellite stuff. Looks like they got a deal for that. So they're going to be streamers henceforth. And that was their plan all along.
yeah, that's kind of what I read into this whole data cap limit thing was the more you stream, the less likely you are to buy cable.
Well, I know.
Ray's saying something. Ray doesn't realize that he's muted.
Yeah,
You're
you
muted,
need to
Ray.
I think you muted him though, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because you and Carol were over there gabbing.
Oh, you know how they are, man. They get
So what?
sugar wagon comes by and things get bad.
So Ray, you're gonna have to play back the last 5 minutes of your conversation.
Don't worry about it.
Ray's just over there talking like we're paying attention to him.
Nobody pays attention to me. I'm fine.
So you're home this week again?
No, I've been home for 14 hours. So figured while I was here, why not go ahead and work at the office and jump into my meeting. I'll be home for another 10 hours or so, and then I'm heading off to
Somewhere.
somewhere else. Yeah.
Ray doesn't even know where he's going anymore.
Well, last time
Monclova,
you were,
Ohio, and then I'm going to Detroit. Monclova. Then Rochester, Michigan. Whatever.
so where's Clova, Ohio?
Monclova, Ohio.
Monclova, Ohio. Where's that?
I don't know.
You just plug it into the GPS and drive. Is that the
There
deal?
you get it. All I need to know is how long it takes to get there. I don't know. I guess it's up by Toledo, is what I was being told.
Oh. Okay. It's kind of a straight shot up 75 then.
I hope so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I think we're all over here searching Monclova, Ohio.
Monclova.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right outside of Toledo.
Yeah. Another
you're gonna-
15-minute
you're gonna-
trip and you're in Michigan.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some weather up there, I would guess.
Please be quiet. Please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the laser machine has to come apart, go in their house, down the stairs, up the stairs, something like that. And then after that, I got to put it all back together, cleaning, alignment, training.
Or is this a personal unit?
Yeah, so it'll go in somebody's house.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. It's going in their spare bedroom or the bonus room or whatever you want to call those nowadays.
So they must have to have some significant power circuitry put in to support that, right?
Nope. All it is 110 volt.
Really?
So it's I guess equivalent to like running a microwave and a hairdryer at the same time.
Oh, really?
If your
Okay.
circuit can support running those two items, and then you got your computer, you'll be fine. So that's my travel news for this week. My my touch on lasers for the week. I do have a big project coming up. I'm buying a metal cutting laser. Actually, I'm buying
Really?
2. So that's my big news.
This
Right now,
is
I'm just
heavy.
negotiating with the vendor on price and all the extra components.
So this has got to be heavy metal or light metal or sheet metal or what?
Well, because it's a laser with a flatbed workspace, the primary target material is going to be sheets of metal. Generally, it's 2 laser machines. One of them is going to be 5 foot by 5 foot workspace. Actually, it's not 5 foot. It's like 4 foot 2 inches by 4 foot 2 inches. You know, it's a more precision machine, smaller. It's got better railways and stuff. It's 1,500 watts. It'll be capable of cutting through like 3/8 steel, which is huge.
That's pretty good.
Hi, Frank. The other machine, the bigger machine, is going to be a 5 foot by 10 foot workspace. It has shuffle tables, fully enclosed, 1,500 watts, and it'll probably be able to cut through 3/8 or half-inch steel, depending on speed and accuracy that's desired, all that fun stuff. But I'm just hoping that it'll be able to cut through like 1/8 inch aluminum, because that's really my target. It's gonna be tough to cut through the 1/8 inch aluminum. I am gonna be using compressed air, so that means I got to buy a screw air compressor and some other stuff. Yeah, fun stuff. I think for a while, I'm just gonna be happy to work with like 60 or 90 thousandths thick steel and aluminum and stuff like that. Stay
So
away
you're
from
going to
galvanized.
use this to manufacture parts or what?
Well, if you're gonna spend that much money, you got to find something to use it to make money. So we're gonna make some parts for a couple different companies. So we'll be taking on some projects. I'm probably gonna hire an employee to run it a shift while we're doing other stuff. I'm gonna use it for making robot parts, and we're also using it as a showpiece because as a laser business, we want to be able to sell the same laser to other people.
Oh,
So got 3 different purposes there: robots, making parts as a contractor, and showing it off.
Are those metal lasers more dangerous than the others?
Well, it's kind of like having a Power Wheels car compared to a Ferrari. So yeah, it's a lot different machine. Our typical machine is 40 watts, 60 watts, 80 watts. This machine is 1,500. One of our typical laser machines, they can range anywhere from 700 pounds to 1,000 pounds. And the big machine here that's coming in is going to be like 7,000 or 8,000 pounds. So it's pretty
Yeah.
pretty beefy. It's big. It's a whole new animal for me.
Are they more hazardous to operate? I assume they are.
Actually, they're less hazardous. On a skin exposure wavelength, because the wavelength of light that comes out of the solid state fiber is it's a different wavelength that's not really intended to hurt flesh. It's intended for metal. So you're more likely for it to enter your body and not affect the organics.
We're down
If
to
you
about
were
30 seconds.
worried about it all. But my new 2 laser machines are fully enclosed, so they're protected.
So we got 15 seconds to go.
10.
Can't get here when you can get here. Can't get in here on time. Get here when you can.
You got another link somewhere?
It's